Hey Angelica, so I'm gonna reply to you about me suggesting what's weight for you to lift and the reason why I don't do that. All right. One thing is the reason why I don't suggest what weights to lift is for many reasons. First, because as I've been teaching you all of you ladies, not every day you might be feeling the same. For example, I don't know, you had a sleepless night, or you went out on drinks the day before, you went to the gym at a time that you're not used to, whatever that reason was. Some days we feel stronger than others, all right? So the reason why I will never suggest what weights to lift, besides just maybe noticing on the check-ins that I send you on a weekly basis, is because I highly encourage you ladies to tune in on how you're feeling on the day, and that should give you an answer as to how much weight you should be lifting. However, one thing that you are maybe not familiar with, that I can definitely help you, is how to read repetition ranges. So the repetitions and the tempo will indicate or it will suggest how much weight to lift. For example, yesterday when I sent you the feedback, I told you that you can maybe lift a little bit heavier on shoulder press, but at the same time, I understand that some people really struggle to change from 10 kg dumbbells to 12 kg because on shoulder press, 2 kg makes a huge difference. And so that is one thing, right? I don't suggest what weights to lift first because I want you to tune in on how you're feeling on the day, every day that you do a session. So the reason why you write your weights is for you to have an indication how much weights you lift on the previous session. So depending on how you're feeling on the session, you then judge if you are able to remain there or to lift a little bit heavy. The only thing that I can help you with is manipulating the repetitions, as I was trying to explain. For example, when we first started this program, the repetitions were 10 to 12, 8 to 10. But because I know now that your session is lasting less than an hour, and because we have spent a few weeks correcting technique, I have now added an extra set that is telling you to do 6 to 8 reps. So if I was you, what I would do, for example, I will be on my session today and I know that on shoulder press I am doing all the sets on 10 kilos, and all the sets I am doing 10 repetitions, okay? So what I told you here is, hey, you're doing 10 repetitions in all the sets. Ideally, you should be progressing weight on every set. So because I know the limitations of moving to the next set of dumbbells, which is going to be 12 kilos, and that is going to be hard to lift, then what I do is I add an extra set with less reps that will kind of like invite you to either try a heavier set of dumbbells for that last set, or remain in that weight, and because there is accumulated fatigue on the last set, then you might not be able to reach the 10 reps again. So just to make this clear, the way you should approach this, always there is a warm-up set, or the first set you should always approach it from warm-up. That is activating the muscles that are needed to do that specific lift. As the muscles get activated and warm up, you should be able to move more weight. But then the best guide that you have is, if you have a set of 10 to 12, on every set you should be aiming to hit the bottom of the repetition range or the top of the repetition range. Ideally, you should first hit the top, meaning that if you got 10 kilos and you did 10 reps and you ask yourself, can I do 2 more on perfect technique and perfect tempo? And if the answer is yes, you get to 12 and then you ask yourself, can I do 2 more? You shouldn't. If you can do 2 more, then you know that you didn't went heavy enough and that you should be adding weight for the next set. If, on the other hand, it happens that you had repetitions from 8 to 10, and let's say you got 12 kg, but you were really struggling to get technique on point and form and tempo on point on repetition number 6, then you know that you went too heavy. So again, I'm not going to be suggesting weights, not because I'm lazy, but because when you train at home, it's different because you only have just 2 pairs of dumbbells. So I need to play with high reps, tempo, etc. But when you are at the gym, every gym has different weight ranges, and I also just want you to be able to connect and know and understand, okay, if those are the repetitions that I'm meant to do, I know that the higher the repetitions, the lower the weight. The lower the repetitions, the higher the weight. But always bearing in mind that technique has to be on point and that tempo has to be on point. And if you get to your 12 repetitions and you feel that you still have 4-6 reps on top of you, meaning that you can do it, then you understand that you're not lifting heavy enough. So this is, please don't think that I'm not telling you the ways to lift because I don't want to help you. I'm just helping you to best understand how to manage the loads at the gym. So 3 things you need to always check. That is tempo, all right? The tempo of the exercise. Well, technique, always technique. After that, the tempo, and after that, the repetition ranges. And on every single exercise, your goal should always be increasing weight on every single set until you manage to get into a weight that you know that it definitely you will not be able to do one more rep. For example, right now, myself, I managed to get to my top reps or to my top set on some weights that I won't be able to improve in very long time, and it's not my goal to improve them. I just know that I understand when I am doing hypertrophy, which is high reps. I understand when I am doing endurance, which is even higher reps, lower weight, or when I am pushing myself to high loads. For example, today I did Romanian deadlift on a weight that I know that maybe I can only get better by 1 rep, but I will not be able to increase the weight. So whenever you have any exercise, your goal is always to first set warm up to activate the muscle group. Second step forward is reading the reps. If the reps are higher, then it's inviting me to do lower loads. If the reps are lower, it's inviting me to do higher loads. However, sometimes it happens that as we get to do 4 sets on one same exercise, the last set we do less reps because maybe we reach fatigue. But this is only for you to judge, and then you leave comments in there. For example, you did the 8 to 10 and you did it with 10, and then you're gonna try next week to do it with 12, and it happens that you only managed to get 4 reps. Then you know that you're not ready for the 12. You need to spend time on the 10s, focus on tempo, and get the higher rep ranges. I hope this is useful. I'm gonna be sharing this with everyone. Bye bye.